Hi guys, welcome to Random Videos 32. In this video we'll be hitting upon a couple different topics. In addition to the radio projects I have going on and a few other things. Over the next few months I'll be going back and redoing some videos that have been on my page for at least a year that I wasn't happy with when I sat back and watched them not too long ago. They were either too dark or I just didn't like how I covered the topics. But going to be redoing a handful of those videos again and trying them, see how they work. They might come out better, they might not. Hope they will. Any comments that were on them videos prior to them being redone, I'll try to hit on those again before I erase it. Kind of bring light to them. Secondly, we're trying out some new video software tonight. This is PowerDirector 12. I have been using Windows Movie Maker 7, which was bundled with Windows 7 on this HP laptop when I first bought it. And I'm kind of starting to outgrow that software a little bit. I don't really like some of the options it has, and you're kind of limited on some of the stuff you can do with it. Whereas this PowerDirector, I'm trying it right now on a 30-day free trial. We'll see how it goes. If we don't like it, we'll have to try something different. But so far, so good. It's just learning how to lay out the storyboard or timeline, they call it there, to figure out how to put a video together and how to edit it and stuff. So what I'm seeing so far, I'm liking it. Try to get back on my feet. I've been sick the last couple of days. It's not been very fun. Flu is running crazy around here in Ohio right now, in the excuse me, in the hospitals and stuff. So we'll get back on our feet and get feeling better and stuff. So I'll let you know what was going on, and on with the show, as they say.
Tonight's John's interview on 1420thebreeze.com on the nostalgic radio section that Greg Van Beek puts on. Should be very interesting. So, while John's being interviewed, I'm going to be recording that interview using my Sony mini disc recorder, and I'm going to archive his interview on this mini disc, so I'll have it for future use, and I can take it and play it back over my AM transmitter at any time. So I've been going through tonight and kind of setting up a few of the things with this player, because I'm not really familiar with it. I've used it to record a few times, but never nothing of an hour's worth of length onto one of these discs, which these will hold in the SP mode 80 minutes, and in the long play mode up to 320 minutes of time. And this is just a 74-minute disc, so I guess in SP I should say it holds 74 minutes, not 80. And this cable over here, I'll be plugging this into the headphone jack of my laptop and letting the sound come over to this and record. And I've got it plugged in right now to 1, charge the battery, and 2, get it ready for later. So, me and a lot of other folks will be listening tonight, John.
Climb your path, buddy, can you spare a dime? Before we get to our old-time radio time selection that you've chosen for us this week, John, why don't you tell us again your YouTube channel name so our listeners can all find your great videos?
Okay, the YouTube handle is JOERNONE.
Great. You told me that your favorite old-time radio series is yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar with Bill Bailey. Bob Bailey. You can't beat that.
Well, guys, if you heard it last night, you heard our good buddy Joe earn one on Nostalgia Radio Time with Greg Van Beek. And I downloaded, I shouldn't say downloaded, I copied while it was going on off of 1420 The Breeze's website, I audio inputted their program through this cable into my mini disc recorder, and now have it recorded on a mini disc. And I didn't even realize until I got done with this thing last evening that my power adapter was junk. The wires that come out of the bottom of the power adapter right here had been broke off, and they were just barely hanging on, and this thing wasn't doing anything. And I hope that it being like that for a little bit of time hadn't shorted out the secondary or primary in that transformer. Here's the cable. Now, somebody had their head out of their hind end when they designed this, because they put a screw in here. And it looks like you can take that screw out and maybe unhinge this thing, and possibly I might have to do with the cord restraint, reattach this wire back on there. We'll give it a go. Hopefully it'll work, but that explains why it didn't work, and I didn't realize that until this morning, but I had unplugged it last night before I went to bed. Anyway, on our mini disc player, let's go ahead and hit play here.
This is Regis Philbin. Please join my friend Greg Van Dyke for Nostalgia Radio Time.
Go, Joe, go!
A mix of some of the finest music from legendary performers and personalities of the greatest generation, along with complete vintage broadcasts from the golden age of radio. Mix it together, and that's Nostalgia Radio Time. Thank you, Regis Philbin, and welcome one and all to another exciting edition of NRT. We have a special guest joining us later in the program to talk about restoring antique radios. But before we begin, here's one of his favorite songs, the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy by the Andrews Sisters.
So there's the beginning of the program. Let's flash forward a few minutes after this song and pick back up with our video here. And through the magic of video editing,
The Andrews Sisters, recorded in 1942, and that song, more than any other, may perhaps be the quintessential song of the World War II era. Certainly conjures up memories of the Andrews Sisters in the movie Buck Privates with Abbott and Costello. As always, I welcome your questions and comments and requests to Nostalgia Radio Time, and you can send them to me via our email address, which is nostalgiaradiotime@yahoo.com. Also, we happen to be on Facebook. We have a great Facebook group with a lot of like-minded listeners, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. Just search for Nostalgia Radio Time there and send us a request to join. And finally, we have the Twitter feed at NRT on WJUB. Love to get your tweets. Now it's guest time on Nostalgia Radio Time, and we have a gentleman joining me all the way from Conway, Arkansas.
Well, it's very nice to be here, Greg. I'm glad I could stop in on a Saturday, a rainy Saturday for me, a cold Saturday for you. It's good to talk to you, actually.
Now, John is not here plugging a new album or a book, but he's here to talk about collecting and restoring antique radios. And since we feature a complete old-time radio broadcast each week, discussing the radios upon which these great shows were originally heard seems like a natural fit.
Actually, yeah, it is. You know, I listen to all kinds of old music on my radios, and but the collecting side of the house, I collect some. I only have a few. My philosophy on the collecting is probably a lot different than most folks. A lot of folks who get into these things, but like we have one individual on the antique, on the YouTube that deals with antique radios, has a really nice collection. That's Old Radio Alan. You know who he is. And Al's a good seller. He collects a lot. I don't like to store radios, take ratty old antique radios that were handmade by our ancestors, basically. Yeah, there were some machines involved, but it boiled down to row after row of people in factories putting these things together, nut by nut, bolt by bolt.
isn't that neat? Well guys, it's Get Her Done Sunday, and what I have gotten done is I brought the record changer in out of the Philco, and as time allots, I'll go through this. I found another way to get the old grease out of this that I didn't mention before, was using oven cleaner. But it takes some disassembly. I'm not going to show you that in this video. We'll save a special part for that. But the record changer has made it in the house. All these boxes of old magazines that come from down at Grandpa's, I'm going to go through these and sort some of this stuff out. Bunch of different stuff in there needs going through. I need to find a home for that stuff yet. The arrival of the new wire, thanks to somebody, has led me to building a wire rack today. So I have all my wire close at hand by my bench now. And I just took a couple L brackets with a piece of flat strap, bolted it together and stuck it up between the 4 joists. It's out of the way. It's right above my head. I can pull my wire down. Now, all these spools here that arrived the other day in that package are 22 gauge 1000 volts. More than enough to do the work on our Stewart Warner transformer here. These 3 rolls here are 24 gauge, I think. I don't think it's 22. It's just a little bit smaller than 22. I think it's 24. These rolls come from Radio Shack and are only rated at 300 volts. And then I had some copper 16 gauge primary wire I brought in here, and then just some miscellaneous wires. So that got that project done. I brought my adapter down here for the Sony mini disc player, and I can resolder this. I'll have to get rid of the cord restraint. I'll work something out and make that work, but I can replace the cord on that, thank goodness. And then we'll go over here to the other side, and you'll notice another major addition to the shop. Look who finally made it in. Now, I told y'all I wasn't going to bring this in the house, but it's just too doggone cold to even remotely work on this thing out in the garage. It's only about 16 degrees today, and it's supposed to get back down into the teens and the lower digits, and supposed to be below 0 a couple of nights, or one night this next week. This weather will straighten up. We probably got about 4 inches of snow last evening, which I had to get the snow blower out and blow the drive out this morning. That tuning capacitor is loosened up just a little bit. I thought for sure something might drip out of there. I put that plate in there. So, it's made it in the house. The Admiral's been put back together and pushed back in the corner for right now, so I get some time to, I shouldn't say time, but just till my other tube tester arrives, if it ever does, to test the tubes in the set. And that's about all that's going on here today. Just down here listening to the Oldies channel. Sounds like there's some Beach Boys on there. Sure is. In addition to the wire that arrived from Radio Days, I wanted to show you guys that, let me plug this light in over, it's kind of dark. I wanted to show you guys that MCM down in Centerville, Ohio, not too far from me, also has hookup wire in a kit. Let's go over here with some better light. Here's their hookup wire. and it's 22 or 18 gauge. Now the top 5 rolls on the little metal rack by the X is 22 gauge, 5 spools, 100 foot, and that whole thing is $55. In the center kit in the box, that's 22 gauge. There's 6 spools. That's 25 foot a spool, which is $25.99. And the very last set that's on a rack again is 18 gauge. There's 8 spools at 25 foot a spool for $45. So the hookup wire that comes from Radio Days is a lot better value than what you can get right here. You know, you got 50 foot a roll at 8 rolls. You got close to 400 foot of wire there for $36. So that's a pretty good deal. And the neat part about this is when we put this disc in, looky there. You've got your own mini disc, bub. And lastly, to close out this video, some of you guys might notice at the end of my YouTube videos, sometimes you'll see like the date, be it 2013 or 2014, and then WPRP, which stands for Windy Point Radio Productions. It's just a working name I have that I throw in my videos, just because the material is mine. And on the videos that the material is not mine, I don't put that on there. But I want to show you my page that I run here on Facebook, and you guys are more than welcome to check this out. It's Windy Point Radio Repair, and it's kind of behind the scenes look. You know, you see a lot of this stuff on Facebook, or on YouTube, I mean. And you can kind of scroll through my site and look. You know, there's some pictures of the Philco we're working on right now. And I post a lot of stuff on here that I don't make videos of. Progress of my Admiral set, a B&K CRT testers, some radios I picked up recently. Here's all the stuff that's come from Grandpa's, a bunch of pictures in there. Here's a 3M tape machine I did a video on. It's got a lot of pictures here on Facebook, and all the stuff that come from that auction back beginning of December of last year. Just a little bit of everything on here, and y'all are welcome to check it out if you want. I don't do a lot of work for other people unless I really know them, but this is kind of my own little deal I run here. I'm not really a legitimate business, you know. I shouldn't say I have a license to run it and all that good stuff. It's just a working name I used, and the name started with an order of capacitors being made to WJOE Radio back in early 2011, and that name's kind of stuck ever since, and I use it whenever I have to order stuff and they want a commercial name. JT Electronics and Repair. This is Speaker Freak 95 right here, and this is our local electronics dealer in a small town south of me that I'm friends with. Like I said, there's a little bit of everything on here, guys. You can dive in, check it out. I'm not showing you anything personal on this page. It's all strictly electronics and things like that. There's just tons and tons of stuff on here y'all can look through. Here's the Pioneer we did a repair on last winter. That was kind of a fun project. Here's the Zenith Royal 500 I have, hand wire chassis. Here's the first time we worked on that Pioneer that's back in here right now that still doesn't work. We haven't got back to. Just a little bit of everything. That Pioneer really did clean up nice when everything was said and done. Here's a Admiral. That was a friend of mine who's passed away. One of these days I'll restore that set. It's kind of it means a little bit to me. It's got a nice story behind it too. Here's another picture of it. Here's my RCA 210. So like I said, guys, dive in, check it out, see what you think. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching.
So that didn't go too bad. I was able to use my Windows Movie Maker 7 software to do editing, cut the clips down and whatnot, and then import them over into the Power Director software and produce this video. So give it a look, see what you think. I'm only running, like I said, on a temporary version for 30 days. If I want to go up to the full version, that's like $100. That's kind of steep. Wow. But if the software works, what the heck. So that's it for this one, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Check out the Facebook page if you want. You don't need to be have an account on Facebook to view that Windy Point Radio Repair page. You can Google it, Windy Point Radio Repair, and it'll pop up. Again, like I said, it's a working name I use on company billing and stuff like that, paperwork and things like that, for an identification purpose for my own self. Give us a look, see what you think. See y'all later.